All right, so today we're going deep on affirmations.
Oh, okay.
We have this really interesting script for a podcast episode.
Right.
It's all about, like, embracing your power, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta admit, I'm a little skeptical.
Really?
Yeah, like, I'm wondering about the structure of these affirmations and if they really have the impact they say they do.
I see. I see.
So to start, they just throw out these phrases like, I am strong,
Okay.
I am capable, I embrace challenges with confidence and all that.
Right.
It sounds empowering and all, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems kind of generic.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, is strong even the same for everyone? You know what I mean?
That's a good point, actually.
Right.
The effectiveness of these affirmations.
Yeah.
I think it could really depend on how specific they are.
Okay.
Like just saying, I am strong. Yeah, that might not land for some people.
It's kind of vague.
Yeah, exactly. But if you say something like, I am strong enough to give this presentation,
Oh,
or, I have the strength to set boundaries.
So it's got to be personal.
I think so. It needs to connect to a goal or a fear that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I think the more specific you get, the better.
Okay, so it's not just about, like, repeating any old positive phrase.
Right.
It's about making it your own.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
And this is where the whole idea of neuroplasticity comes in.
Neuroplasticity, what is that?
So it's basically the idea that our brains can change.
Yeah.
They're super adaptable. And when we focus on certain thoughts or beliefs over and over again, we can actually rewire those pathways in the brain.
Really? So just by saying, I am confident, like enough times,
Yeah, in theory.
my brain will start to believe it.
Exactly. It's like training your brain to think differently.
Wow. Is there, like, any science behind this, or is this like...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Actually, there's a ton of research out there about the impact of affirmations.
Really?
Yeah, and some studies have even shown that
Wow.
affirmations can activate the parts of our brain that deal with self-processing and reward.
Huh. Interesting.
And this can lead to, changes in behavior over time.
So it's not just like a feel-good thing.
No, it can actually have a real impact.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I also noticed this script mostly focuses on positive statements.
Right.
Like, what about the negative stuff?
That's a good question.
Yeah, like, are we just supposed to ignore all the negative beliefs we have?
Some people might say that, but
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Like just covering up negative thoughts with positive ones.
Right.
I don't know if that's enough,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Some people think you really need to address those deeper limiting beliefs
Okay.
head on. You know what I mean?
So it's not just about being positive. It's about, like...
It's about dealing with the hard stuff, too.
Yeah.
Exactly, like facing those shadows.
Okay, so affirmations alone might not be the answer.
Probably not.
What about this whole thing about taking action?
Oh, yeah.
The script says after affirming something, we have to go out and make it happen.
Right.
Is that link really that important?
I think it's crucial.
Okay.
It's like this, think of affirmations as the fuel and action as the engine.
Okay.
You need both to get where you want to go.
That makes sense.
Affirmations, they give you that initial spark,
Right.
that boost of confidence.
That belief.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
then you have to actually do something to make it real.
Okay, so it's about putting in the work.
Yeah, like consistent action.
Okay,
That's what makes those beliefs stick.
gotcha. Okay, that's really helpful.
Good.
There's also this one line that really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah, which one?
It says, everything I need is already within me.
Right.
It sounds really powerful,
It does.
but I also wonder if it's a bit oversimplified.
How so?
Well, what about all the things outside of ourselves that can hold us back?
Yeah, I see your point.
It's not always that simple.
For sure.
So what do you think?
I think it's a good starting point.
Okay.
It's about recognizing your own inner strength and resources. But it's also important to remember that we don't live in a vacuum.
Right.
Like our environment, our
Yeah.
circumstances, all of that plays a role.
Yeah.
We can't ignore those external factors.
Right.
So it's about finding that balance,
Okay.
recognizing your own power, but also acknowledging the complexity of the world around you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not always easy,
No, it's not.
but maybe that's where self-compassion comes in.
Absolutely.
Because the script ends with this message of staying positive and shining your light.
Right.
But what about when we stumble,
Yeah.
What happens when things don't go as planned?
That's real life.
Exactly.
I think there's a danger of affirmations turning into toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah, where you feel like you always have to be happy and upbeat.
Even when you're struggling.
Exactly.
So how do we avoid that?
I think true resilience isn't about denying negative emotions.
Oh,
It's about learning to navigate them
Okay.
with self-awareness and kindness.
so it's okay to not be okay.
Exactly.
That's a good reminder. So maybe the main takeaway here is that
Yeah,
affirmations can be a good tool,
for sure.
but we need to use them carefully.
Right.
We have to understand both their potential and their limitations.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And for anyone listening,
Yeah.
I would encourage you to really think about these affirmations and see what resonates with you.
Yeah, what feels true.
Exactly. And maybe explore some other approaches to mindset change too.
Like what?
Well, there's cognitive behavioral therapy,
Okay.
mindfulness practices, things like that.
So there are other options
Absolutely. It's about finding what works best for you.
on your own journey.
Exactly.
That's a great point. So it's been a really interesting deep dive into affirmations.
It has.
And I think we've uncovered a lot of nuance here.
For sure.
So thank you for that.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
And to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep embracing your power.
And remember, be kind to yourself along the way.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for today's deep dive. We'll catch you next time.
See you then.